Welcome everyone to episode 4 of the Knockout. We have a very important show tonight, very fun, very exciting show, where we will answer one very important question. And that question is, will Dr. Doom own up to his mistake and will he pay for child support? Because frankly, it's just a little bit of a mistake. For those of you listening on the podcast and all that, I apologize. I had some fun video editing and I just had to have a little bit of fun here and I had to see John laughing in the background. So please welcome John's Comics with Kids for Dr. Doom. Welcome, John.
John Doom lives forever.
Yes.
I love that, man.
Yeah, I had to figure out some way to put it into the show and all that. I just wanted to have some fun here, and your reaction in the background was.
Oh, and that intro, dude, was slaying. That was a fantastic intro. So kudos to you, man. And shout out to Shop for Comics for making all these great characterizations of community members as superheroes and villains, because he created that Doom John, and it's fantastic. Love it.
Yes. So I cannot wait to see you and your argument for Dr. Doom here. So, frankly, Dr. Doom is one of the more exciting characters in all that. Just his mind. But speaking of great minds, please welcome Comics Kings with Kang. Welcome, Brandon.
What is going on, man? It's great to be here. It's great to be back on YouTube. This is actually like my first show back in probably the better part of 9-10 months. So
I was just talking. It was fun talking to him. So Brandon and I have, we talk on the phone, and he FaceTimed me. I was like taking a nap after work today, and he's FaceTiming me, and we were like pre-gaming. It was hilarious. It's been a long time, Brandon.
No alcohol involved. I mean, at least not for this one. Just wait till we're really back.
I got my wine. I'm just having a little.
That's all right.
Yeah,
well, we gotta go.
I am looking forward a lot to this matchup here. Dr. Doom and Kang, these are the best matchups on my show here. Always seem to be the ones that the wheel puts together, and it sucks that I hate to see one of these guys go home. In the first round.
I just hate that it's John too. I wanted to see him in the finals. I wanted to see this man in the finals. Like I was looking forward to that, John. Like I was gonna get you flowers for it.
Yeah.
I can buy myself flowers.
Yeah, you can do it on your own, right? But I should have bought you flowers, and I really should have held your hand through this.
Yes, but yeah, welcome back to you too, Brandon here. So good to have you on the show here. I'm glad you guys were able to make it online. Sorry about the delay for those of you in the audience. Technical problems, but that stuff happens. So as you guys know, there's very few rules this season because it's the villains this season, and there's really no rules when it comes to villains. So I'm not really holding anyone back. But frankly, what we have is John's going to open up with Dr. Doom's intro. Brandon's going to have his intro for Kang, and then we're going to get down the dirty into the conversation where it's just nothing but excitement. I cannot wait to see where this is going. So I'm going to let John have his intro and then we're going to get the show started. You guys have any questions?
No, I'm excited.
Awesome. Well, take it away, Dr. Doom, with your opening statement.
Yeah, there's really no question here. Dr. Doom is arguably the greatest villain in all Marvel comics and absolutely earns that status time and again, not only by defeating like entire teams of superheroes, whether that's like, I'll just take all the Avengers, me versus like all those guys. Like that, yeah, sure. I can handle those guys. I don't need a variant, or I don't need a ton of extra guys. I can do it on my own. Or whether that's in Secret Wars, when he takes out Kang, no problem, and then goes after the Beyonder and takes the Beyonder's power and defeats God and Galactus and all these other things. Doom is the most powerful and greatest villain in Marvel. And beyond just the incredible intellect, the incredible wealth, power, and ability to build things, he's got all of the Tony Stark level skills at creation and design, that what they call technopathy, the ability to speak to technology. But he's also got the mind, the brilliance of a like Reed Richards, outsmarts Reed Richards regularly. Reed respects him endlessly. And then, of course, has the incredible power of being a leader of an entire nation, right? Latveria, like the leader of a nation. And then, of course, we have like the part of this that I think is the deal breaker, deal maker here is he is a master of the mystic arts on a level with the Sorcerer Supreme himself. I think there are just so many tools in the bag here that Doom has. It's absolutely unfair to anybody, which is to your point at the beginning here, Matt. Like, yeah, it's a shame that Kang has to go home so early because he just drew the short straw. He drew the short straw facing Doom in round 1.
Yes, definitely a shame. Definitely a shame. So, all right, Kang, what do you have to say to Doom?
Well, it's very simple. All right, so we're gonna draw this out together. You have villains on Earth that you're not going far. They can affect the Earth, right? But they're not ultimately gonna be universally defying, right? You have Magneto, probably one of the stronger villains. I'm gonna put Doom in that category. With all due respect to Doctor Doom, what everything John said is true. He's a very powerful villain. But what holds Doctor Doom back is that he, at the end of the day, he is a human, and that holds him from being any more powerful than Kang, right? Kang can go throughout multiple realities. He can bring other variants in, which is powerful. You don't need variants, but they always help. And Kang really doesn't need variants to go up against Doctor Doom. If we're talking about a one-on-one fight, I'm sorry, I'm taking Kang, someone who has experience in multiple realities. I'm sorry, that's a one-on-one track record. Like, if you look at everyone that Kang has like soloed in a one-on-one, right, across any reality, just as Kang, I think he's done it with Doom in about 10 of them. You could probably put that together, right? And we haven't really even seen Kang at full strength in a lot of these storylines. You have to think of like Doctor Doom in the same league as like Thanos and almost like a nihilist, right? Magneto, that they're bound by, they're not able to affect reality to the point where like you have Kang, right? And beyond Thanos, you're gonna have Galactus, you can have Dormammu, maybe Mephisto's probably under Thanos, but beyond that, you have not a whole lot of other people, and then there's Kang, right? Kang is obviously, when it comes to multiverse shifting, there are only a few villains that can honestly, I think, defeat Kang that are in that same class. I think the Maker is one of them. I think Kang is one of them. And then we're going into like the High Evolutionary, the Living Tribunal. And that's why, and we're even seeing it in the MCU, right? So we're bringing Doctor Doom in a lot of times so that we can ultimately defeat Kang, right? Whose job right now is to prevent realities from crashing into each other, but also take over them, which is really powerful. So you have to help Kang, but not help Kang, right? You can't unleash him. You can only contain him. And Doctor Doom is really no threat. He has Latveria. Kang has multiple realities. It's very that simple.
Heck of an introduction. Like I said, these two, I can't imagine a bigger powerhouse than these two. You both have two brilliant minds, two powerhouses.
And it's almost like you're getting the finals of the knockout here in round 1. Like the ultimately the two like gangbuster Marvel villains here in round 1. It's kind of a shock.
Definitely close to that. But so frankly, and also too, with these two guys here, I can see both of them going after each other just because the other guy's a threat. Doom is a threat to Kang and his control of time itself, whereas Doctor Doom would realize this person here stands in his way of controlling and getting more power. Yeah, he might be central and it might be more focused more along his own country, but he's still power, and this other intelligent being is a threat to it. So what do these guys have as far as pros to overcome the other? And as far as Kang goes, I'm going to try my best not to do any spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen Ant-Man, because I don't like to spoil anyone else's fun. So
yeah, you got to look out for the little guy.
Yeah, so I will do my best when I'll do my own little questions. So, but it's kind of hard too, since most of my info comes from the movie right now. That's fresh in my mind. Anyway,
well, I think these two have battled a bunch over the years. I think Brandon, when we were chatting this afternoon, he was talking about the Kang miniseries where there's even a cover of the two of them going head to head right there on the cover. And I'm a big OG Jim Shooter Secret Wars fan, and Obviously, both of them are in that event as well, and they throw down in there. Although in that one, Doom ends up reprogramming Ultron and just is like, no, I'm not. You're like a little bug. You're annoying me. I'm gonna have Ultron take care of you. And Ultron just totally smokes Kang in that. But that's an early version of Kang versus like the Immortus and
or Avenger
Kang
Forever, where he
versions,
was
right?
like completely whoop ass.
The Ramatut version of Kang. So we talked a little, Brandon and I, about the idea that both of them bring not just themselves to this battle, but several versions of themselves, whether it's all the variants of Kang or Doom and all his Doom bots that he would bring in his army, each one equipped with the incredible suit that he wears that is worthy of being able to battle people like Ben Grimm, worthy of battling people like Galactus. Those suits are so incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
And then he has a whole fleet of them.
Now, something I really like about that graphic you just showed, if you want to use it as reference. Now, again, I haven't seen this other than what you just showed, but
Yeah.
Kang is so smart because he knows that Doom is already going to confront him saying, I will destroy you. Doom is saying, I'm going to destroy you in this reality. No, Kang knows that you cannot defeat me in maybe any other reality than this one, right? For example, if you can, great. But he knows that Dr. Doom is going to say this already. He already knows he's going to come at him with that. So he's like, just do it before you, bro. Like, it's no big deal to me. It's easy. Like, he's smiling, he's grinning. He's like inviting that cockiness. Now, the other thing that Dr. Doom is he's a human, right? He's limited by human expectations. We even saw this when we let Johnny Storm crash his own wedding by cheating on his fiance, by cheating on his wife, right? And then he got into it with Namor, Like, that's something Kang will never have to deal with, is getting bad-mouthed by Namor, right? Because Namor will never talk to Kang like that, right? So keep dealing with like all of that, but you take all the Doom bots you want.
What's up, Biggie Shaq?
Hey, what's up, Biggie?
Welcome, Biggie. Welcome, everyone.
Did he say he was baked?
As much as Kang's power comes from the ability to change the future by understanding all the different realities, I think that doesn't necessarily help him in a one-on-one matchup, right? I don't know that that's an ability that is going to play out very well here, where you have obviously these incredibly powerful characters wearing suits, the mystical arts that Doom is going to be controlling. I think that puts Kang and his variants at something of a disadvantage just in a one-on-one fight. Now, if we were talking about like a Marvel Comics event, that would be a very different thing. And obviously the writer's going to choose whatever they want, depending on what story you're reading. Yeah. But in a one-on-one fight, I think this is when Doom would really rise up. You talk about a character that, again, has defeated the Beyonder, a god. He's defeated gods. So he's not dismissed as just man. He's defeated gods.
And Kang defeats gods across multiple universes, multiple realities, right? So Dr. Doom is not like anything he hasn't seen before, and I'm going to refer to the Maker as something that is even more powerful, right? You made the argument earlier that he's always outsmarting Reed Richards. And if anyone has read Secret Wars, right, this is very important. If anyone's read anything Hickman has done with the Maker, read his Ultimates. He has outsmarted everybody, right? The Maker has, even Dr. Doom. No match. And we're going to see this in what Hickman is going to bring back. But with Kang, never. Right? So when I can't help but to think in a one-on-one, Kang has seen everybody fight. Right? He's probably seen Taskmaster in 5 other realities, who we know to be one of the greater fighters in the Marvel Universe. So forgive me if I'm saying that everything Dr. Doom can throw at Kang, he's seen before and will be able to react. And guess what? Even if he doesn't win in the here and now, time means nothing to Kang.
So he'll go back and replay it and win the second. Is this like Mr. Sinister and he just resets the time stream?
This is like Inception. That's like a complete cycle and you just keep winning. So like you're going home either way, over and over and over and over and over again. John.
That is the trick. I think that is the trick of a character who is working within time, right? Guys. A character that works within time and has the ability to manipulate that, has certain powers, obviously, and has certain benefits. But you look at someone who controls the mystic arts, like a Stephen Strange, who repeatedly says that he is on level with someone like Dr. Doom. You're talking about the magical powers to then manipulate times right back at him. And the technopathy ability to control any futuristic tools that someone like Kang would bring to bear, whether it's a time travel device or a weapon from the future, whatever Kang weapon he brings. Doom has technopathy, the ability to control technology with his mind. He would have a lot of toys. That would also be a challenging negative, because somebody like Kang, who relies on a lot of future tech, would then have to deal with the abilities of.
Yeah, but there is like there's always the standard that the tech can be so overwhelming. We've seen that time and time again throughout so many like heroes and villains, where there is so much people who are that amplified in their technology, it just goes overboard. And to highlight what Officially Unofficial Geek said, great to see you again. Being able to go against like other universes. If Doom wins in this reality, what's keeping him from doing it in another? That the Doom in reality in Earth 616 is different from the Doom in, let's say, the Ultimate Universe or even in another parallel, because they don't have connection to the other Dooms, which is what makes Kang so fascinating to me, is because he takes the knowledge from one Doom, uses it to fight the other one. So if he loses against Doom over here, he go whoop ass on the other one over there, right? And in the other reality. But he's taking all of that knowledge and it's linear for him.
So the connection across time streams and dimensions allows him knowledge that would then benefit him strategically, you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
In a sense, you know, even if he loses in one reality, he's able to take it and go somewhere else, right? So he's like, and and there's always that concept, is this the most powerful reality? Yeah. Or is the Ultimate Universe the most powerful reality? Like, what would win if they really did crop, you know?
To your point about the Maker, clearly the most intelligent, if you will, or devious version of Reed Richards is this ultimate version of Reed, versus I think the most powerful version of Doom that we've seen time and again is our Doom. The 616 Doom seems to be the victor. Literally
the Victor Von Doom.
Yeah, Victor Von Doom, the one who I think has the most skills, meaning the most talent in the mystic arts, the most technologically advanced.
Actually, Clea said he was Victor Von Dummy when like he came in saying he was like all about the mystic arts. She really did say you are Victor Von Dummy. She said, "Get out of here."
That doesn't make it a fact. That's clearly in the opinion category.
And Doom walked right out. Let's not forget, Doom walked right out. You really think Kang would walk right out? Really, Kang would walk right out of that? No.
I got a question for you, Brandon.
Not even close. He would never get trumped by no Clea. She just came over to Earth. She hasn't been there for 35 minutes, and she already sassing Doom.
She's a sassy one. That's for sure.
Yeah. I got a question for you. I got a question for Kang. So I've read a couple of stories where Doom has all his robots in him. We had John mentioned earlier of Doom bots showing up and all that. How is Kang gonna overcome an army full of Doom bots if he chooses to bring them all at one time?
My brother, he has Iron Lad. Iron Lad is a direct connection to the Young Avengers, right? So we have a whole roster anyway. We have all the Kangs, so a bunch of different realities, right? All of his allies that he made, because think about it. If we look at what Kang has been so successful doing as a villain, is he keeps all the other villains in check. So when he comes, you never know, right? He's like the evil version of the Watcher, right? You never know when he's going to come in, literally. But when he does, all the other villains know, okay, so something's going down. Like, we need to listen. This is important, because he wouldn't come here for no other reason. So he has a way of keeping that rapport with other villains to where Doom does it. If you cross Doom, his middle fingers up, fuck you, fuck you. I'm sure if I needed an allied Namor would come to my aid, and we would really, guess what? Now we own 75% of the earth, and you're Latveria, my brother. Like, it's a wrap at that point.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things about Latveria is relating to Carrie's question here about why does Doom not leave 616? Why isn't he trying to conquer other dimensions and other versions? And I think it, you know, when I remember reading like one of the, you know, alt Elseworld Marvel stories where they talk about like Earth being destroyed by zombies, or whether it's Earth being destroyed by, you know, a meteor or what have you. One of the more recent Hickman stories X-Men stories had to do with a possible future where Sinister had created all these chimeras that were just destroying all the different portions of Earth. And in every single case, they always bring up the idea that the last stand, the last place to conquer, the place that is most challenging to conquer is Latveria, that it's this like that it's the tip of the spear, it's the diamond in the center, right? That is so hard to crack because of Doom, because of the technology that he's got, because of the incredible intelligence he has, the strategies that he plays out. Doom is Latverian at his core. He cares a ton about the people, the citizens he protects. That country means a lot to him.
And
he is
Kang
not just a puppet leader where he's just manipulating his citizens. In fact, throughout the Hickman universe, they've been talking about how mutants are being treated horribly all around the world, but the mutants of Latveria are treated very well. And they're living in a very happy place, and they choose, many of them, not to go to Krakoa because they are being treated so well. And if they are Latverian citizens, his love for them and his desire to create a utopia there is only equaled by his desire to be the boss.
Okay, Black Panther is, you can say the same thing about Black Panther, but are there people that can defeat Black Panther? Absolutely. Right? Is it the same as Latveria? I'm not going to say it is. That's stupid, and that's not. I speak the truth. Latveria is the most powerful country, I would say. But if Magneto ever gets pissed off, what's stopping him from doing all? What's really stopping him? Right? So you got to think about, like, if we are playing out these scenarios, Kang will always be back, right? If everyone can see Hamilton, right? You'll be back. Like, like that. Like. He'll always be back, and he'll always be back with, like, he doesn't come back without a purpose. I feel like a lot of times we find Doom losing. When you ask yourself, why does Doom lose? Is because he gets too sucked in. And yes, that love for his country, he will always lose if it means saving his country.
Well,
and I wanted to add something real quick.
Biggie's got a great point too.
Yeah, and I do agree, John. It's not very to the core and all that. That if this was a question of the fight if this match was going to end by who could control the most territory or who could conquer the world, I would argue that Kang would bring a variant or two to focus 24/7 on attacking Latveria, focusing their attention there. Doom is going to focus on his territory and his country above all, and that leaves the original 616 Kang to focus on the rest of the world. So then it's a question of pinning down Doom.
So if you're talking about if the battle was of a conquest of Earth, you think that gives Kang an advantage versus an arena one-on-one sort of like fight with Doombots and Kang variants one-on-one is different.
Even if it is hand-to-hand, Kang's hand-to-hand combat isn't as superior. I mean, Dr. Doom's is not really even, I wouldn't even consider it close to Kang's, because we've said earlier, Doom relies a lot on technology, power. So even if we are in like that Gladiator Hulk setting, like we saw in Ragnarok, right? That's what I'm picturing in my mind right now.
Same.
Kang is still muscle, right? He's still fit. He's still buff. He still has enough powers that is far advanced from what Doom is used to.
I feel like, and maybe this is the point.
He's also grew up in a very great. He grew up already kind of expecting the end. So like, it doesn't mean anything for him to go all the way, and he has the potential.
I think Biggie is talking about and I don't know if Biggie means that Doom is second smartest because Kang is the first smartest. I don't know if that's the implication that he's making there. I don't know who he thinks is the smartest. For me, Kang is in a one-on-one fight. Kang has never been the street fighter. I'm going to punch the guy harder and win. And I think that's why in an arena fight, with all those Doom bots and all those abilities that Doom brings to the table, the power of his suit alone. And I think when Doom loses, it's almost always one of his bots.
Let me ask you something.
Doom's not stupid enough to get himself in a position where he could be risking his own life.
I don't think either of those people would put themselves in a position where they would end up one-on-one in an arena. They're too powerful to go against each other.
Lone Wolf, if you want who looks cooler, here you go.
If you want to go on who looks cooler, you win all day because your face got so fucked up, you had to cover it up somehow. Like it's like
Bill Sienkiewicz says this one wins right here.
Like Bill Sienkiewicz would say, my Moon Knight work would work. Like go check that out, guys. Or
okay, so Biggie's saying the Immortal Biggie Shack is saying Reed Richards would be number one in Marvel, and then Doom would be second smartest.
Yeah, but Kang again isn't of 616, so he's not even counting as smartest, right? If we're talking about intelligence, you really do have to factor that Kang is a descendant of Reed Richards, so he's up there. He's He's
I
really
respect
there.
that,
He is
Biggie. I
the
do
most
respect that
advanced
in a big
person
way.
in technology, right? So if I am actually ranking non-biased, I mean, Kang is when you're so far ahead of everybody else, it's hard not to like look at that and not count it for exactly what it is. Kang is further ahead than everybody else.
Well, congratulations, Kang. You got my son's vote.
Is that who the
That's because
love
he just
is?
knows. That's
Yeah.
because he knows what's up. When you look at the grand scheme, you
What's
said
up,
no one has
buddy?
ever
Come
been
look
one on.
cool.
You said it. We've never really seen Kang go one-on-one because he's never had to.
Doom has the
never
ability to
really
make the
had.
Avengers dance. Look at him. First time he's on the cover of an Avengers comic, and he makes everybody start dancing. Look at them all. They're all
I
like,
mean,
"Oh, damn,
look
it's
at
dance
that.
party." And he just crosses his arms. He's like, "You dance, dance, monkeys, dance."
Yeah. Got interesting there.
I don't think that Kang has ever really
What's up,
had a
Ian?
threat where he's had to go hand to hand, right?
I mean, I've
Have
seen
we
it
seen that?
in Secret Wars several times. Kang gets his butt handed to him just by random fights. Not even like a challenging fight. He's just one of the like sidekick villains in that event. Now, again, like I don't hold that up as like the Bible, because the truth is whatever a writer wants to have happen in a book, that's what's going to happen. So like you could hold up anything where it's like, oh yeah, Jim Shooter wanted Dr. Doom to be the boss of that book, so Dr. Doom's the boss of that book. But I'm more holding it up as examples where Ultron just single-handedly takes out Kang. Just boom, blasts him and he's done.
Kang's big mission is ultimately to defeat the worst version of himself.
What about this one? Because this is my favorite Doom cover. What about this one, buddy? Come on. Look at that.
Yeah,
All
that's
day.
definitely.
Come on.
That's a Doom. That's a Doom after 10 rounds with Kang.
And still standing and still ready to go. And Kang is like mud under his foot at that point. He's just he's a blood spot on the ground.
Yeah, exactly. Like just what I said. Like he tries to stop his own self. That's his goal. And with all due respect, someone named Victor Von Doom is not getting him anywhere near from is not going to stop him from conquering that goal. We've seen Kang persevere. He comes through.
What about that point? The one that Steph's making. Missing Link says Kang is so powerful, his own self tries to stop him. So here we've got Kang battling Immortus, and everybody else is like, okay, let him fight. Like, what's to stop? What's to stop in the middle of the battle Kang from having to fight his own selves? While the Doom bots are just standing back and watching them kill each other.
You gotta think about that too. Doom has his robots, and so it's him in control. What's to stop Kang from thinking I know better than me and trying to stop each other? Yeah,
right.
We have to worry about infighting. Unless we have Rise of the Skynet with the Terminators with Doombot here.
Not with my technopathy, I can control the technology, right?
That's the only downside there.
So what is to keep the Kangs from fighting amongst themselves, right?
That's the question.
They have a common goal. I mean,
true.
At the end of the day, the Kangs have a common goal, and they're more interconnected than Doom really is with his bots, right?
Ooh,
if you think about
bold statement.
Now, I will say this: if you think that his bots are relied on technology, what is Kang, who is more advanced in technology than anything else? I think when we're dealing with Kang's ability to go in and out versus hand-to-hand combat, I can say the same thing about Dr. Doom and his failed ability as Sorcerer Supreme, right? There's a reason why that Doom doesn't often use his powers of the mystic arts, because he's not as poised, he's not as disciplined, and he's not as respected.
It's not because he doesn't need them, because that's
it's because he's not respected in that. Like Loki has zero respect for him.
You got some bold hot takes in this.
And I love Dr. Doom. I love Dr. Doom. He's one of my absolute favorites. I like him more than Kang.
Himself has repeatedly said that Dr. Doom rivals his power.
Rivals, but Dr. Doom will never. But in order,
the Sorcerer Supreme is like.
And the Sorcerer Supreme actually has to commit to the mystic arts, which is what Stephen Strange had to do, and Dr. Doom.
And Dr. Doom was like, I don't want to be in charge of like I don't want to be the sorcerer.
And that's why he's not respected. If he actually pursued the mystic arts, think about how much more powerful Dr. Doom would be.
I've got my own stuff to worry about.
If he spent a little bit more time,
he does not want that responsibility and doesn't want.
It would make it. What you know? What? And maybe
although I would legit read a comic book that was Dr. Doom Sorcerer Supreme. Somebody make that mini series. I would read the crap out of that book.
It was
I would too. And I think that him and his
Carrie.
Oh, actually, like Doom would destroy the Joker.
Well, she argued.
Carrie was battling for the Joker in this competition as well. She was the Joker.
Oh.
Yeah, she started off the season with the Joker, and unfortunately, the Joker didn't win against Loki.
She got
So-
Loki, another really tough draw. Really tough
Oh.
draw.
You know what? You could argue the Joker over Loki. I could see the argument. I really could.
It was a really good discussion they had going.
I really could.
In a
But,
sense,
you know,
Xander.
I think when you also say that Kang is a Richard, you know, so when you look at his history, where he came from, what he came from, and what he's been across other timelines, all of it is there, the future, the past, and the present of how to defeat Dr. Doom at any given time and any other villain. It's all there. So between the research and their weakness, I really do think that in a one-on-one, Kang would not only be way more prepared than Doom, he'd be able to execute. And even if you're not physically as talented, that we all know that is not what makes a hero.
Yeah,
Wolverine is 5'2", and he takes and he went toe to toe with the Hulk. I'm sorry, if Nate Robinson can win a dunk contest, he's 5. And I think that height is out the door. We even just saw a white guy who
I
could
grew up with
jump and take the dunk
Spuds
contest.
McKenzie was my guy when I was a kid. I loved Spuds McKenzie. That guy was so tiny.
We just had a white guy win the dunk contest. I think anything is possible at this point. So
Truly, anything is possible. But we're talking about the logistics, the odds. What are the odds of something like that happening?
Oh, I
Let
was
Brandon talk, John. Am I talking over Brandon?
actually, I think you're trying to talk, and Brandon's the one doing the talking.
I thought Brandon was doing too much talking. I was trying to get my point in, but all right. Sorry, Biggie. I'll
yeah, I think because Biggie is Team Kang. But anyway, John.
I'll just hold up all my Kang keys instead. You guys talk.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely a lot of fun here. But the question is that unless another thing here, that unless Dr. Doom takes over the Baxter building and controls the Forever Gate, Kang has the benefit of time and all that. He can go back and forth in time, and if I'm not mistaken, whereas Dr. Doom is basically one shot kind of a thing almost. If these two truly go at it, there's no second battle. This will end now because one of them will not walk away. The other is too big of a threat. You know, other matches we can kind of, we'll come back later or kind of thing. But with these two to go at it, there's no second match. It's one of these guys going in the ground. In a sense.
I think it is an interesting point though that you raised earlier about the concept of if it was like, let's say the two of them trying to conquer Earth, trying to control Earth, that I think would be a very interesting discussion because obviously Doom wouldn't have the same needs and logistics that someone like Kang would have, where Kang I think would have maybe possibly an advantage in such a battle, being able to spread his forces out and conquer across the globe, where Doom with his foothold in Latveria, would that give him the ability to expand out, or would he have to make, I guess the question would become who is able to better make treaties or team up. Could Doom convince someone like T'Challa and the powers of Wakanda to team up to battle somebody like Kang? When he sees Kang conquering the globe, I see a T'Challa and a Reed Richards going to someone like Doom and saying, help us. I see that happening. I see that as a logistical reality.
I see Kang again with his Richards connection would already go back. We stated earlier that the Young Avengers, and when you are talking about, and when you are kind of talking about who is the more of an ability to grow, right, and expand, kind of bringing me to my point earlier, you have people you have villains that dwell in Earth, right? Again, we're gonna make a little circle here.
God, we're getting like a pie chart. Are you getting graphic? Is this a Hickman graphic?
Yes. Right, you can have Magneto. He's still very powerful, right? Magneto can walk into any town, and I think it's very safe to say he really wanted to take Earth. He could do it by now, right?
Didn't Magneto try to like control Mjolnir once too? Right, he's like tried to like manipulate Mjolnir.
You have Dr. Doom. I'm putting in this. Those are probably, and I'm going to say Norman Osborn. Other than that, now you have people in space.
Where's Franklin Richards fit into this?
Franklin Richards, I would put Dylan Brock more so in this conversation.
Because here's where I put Franklin Richards. Look at him.
Hey,
He's got his little
I
Doom.
love-
He's building his Doom blocks. He's like, yeah, I'm a Doom kid. I'm all Doom. all
yeah,
day.
he's like, I'm Doom. He's like, I saw the devil.
He's on Doom's side all
My boy has
day.
not been saved yet. I don't know. At that point, if I was Reed, I would have just taken my kid to church and just said, "Let's."
But
go.
let's ask this question of Matt. Maybe
Okay.
Reed Richards is having to choose sides. Earth is being conquested and just taken over. You got Doom on one side and Kang and his variants on the other. Who does Reed Richards and the Fantastic Four? Who do they side with?
Who would I think that he'd side with, Kang or Doom?
Yeah. I think it's an interesting debate because obviously, like his ancestry element, there's an ancestry element to Kang, right? But I think there's more of a connection, like maybe emotionally, intelligently, with Doom on 616.
I don't know. I almost see, if I had to picture it out, I don't know if I know enough about Kang to think if he'd side with him, but I would think he might side with Doom just because he could trust Victor and his sense of himself, that he would want to protect his power, his country, his
Latveria, right?
and so he could count on him to be selfish enough to work with him for the greater
That's
good.
my feeling. I feel like Reed and the Fantastic Four, which then means the Avengers likely and several other teams would be partnering with Doom against Kang. Now Kang has to deal with trying to conquer Earth, and most people trying to side with Doom in such a scenario. But I don't know. This is just the shit fun of like talking comics.
Okay.
Nerds.
You know the rules. You know
the graphic is done.
Okay,
Sorry.
so I made the graphic. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have Earth. Okay. People are okay.
I love this. This is amazing. This is amazing. I'm ready for this.
I'm ready for this too, John.
What is up, Tessa? Tessa was live a little bit ago. You guys should subscribe to
Hi,
Tessa's
Tessa.
channel. She's awesome.
Hey Tessa, I've enjoyed a few of your videos on your channel.
She's just here for me to make fun of John. That's like that's all we ever talked about is when we're making fun of John. Is yeah.
She picks Kang. Oh crap.
Boom.
No, that's Biggie shout picking. Okay, Biggie's always been on. He's been on Team Kang from the beginning. Look at
okay.
him.
Anyway, it's very simple. So, and then outside of like your normal like Earth villains, again, they're so capped by we just remain on Earth, which is so small compared to what we're seeing in the comics and what we've seen stretch from like the very early days of the Silver Age.
Right.
Then you get Thanos, Mephisto, Ronan. Just off the top of my head, you get Galactus. You can get who'd I write there? Did I write Galactus twice? I did write Galactus twice. Dormammu.
Are these the people that would side with Kang? You think?
No, these are people that like these are like in their own realm of like they're
you're basically making a hierarchy of power.
Right? I am making a hierarchy of power just to show you how little this talk is compared to somebody like Kang, right?
Ooh,
now
Super Demon Wizard is on my side.
Nobody sides with Kang. He's his own worst enemy. Now everybody would side with Kang, and I'm gonna tell you why. Is because Kang has the leverage to make that happen. He always does. And I don't know if you missed earlier, Dr. Doom has a way of not maintaining his allies because Latveria is its own singular country. It's very isolated, right? This is why he's so self-sufficient for his country. He doesn't need allies. So he's like, fuck him. When Secret Wars happened, where was Doom until the very end? Nothing, right? We saw Atlantis, we saw Wakanda come in. We should have seen Latveria, another world power. We saw the United States.
Nobody's dumb enough to mess with Latveria.
Nobody is dumb enough.
What they're getting into.
Exactly. And then but then when you go like these are the powers that can affect like cross universes, right?
Look, we're making Matt sweat now. Matt's like, this is sweaty. This is intense.
Right. This is where eternity comes in. You have the high evolutionary.
Matt can't handle the pressure. He's
you
like,
have the living tribunal. You have the maker. You have the beyonder, and you have Mr. Death. I'm going to put Mr. Death in that category, and I'm putting Kang in that category because time is more powerful than eternity. Sometimes when you can escape time, eternity turns into infinity. And
time is
Kang
more powerful than time. Sometimes
will defeat Dr. Doom every single time. If one person leaves from a fight, it is Kang. Over and over, like that Nelly song. Over and over again.
He wins just because he brought up Nelly. I think that alone, right? Yes, Carrie, good call. That's a very good decision you've made today. If that's the only good decision coming out of this show, there you go.
Yeah.
You missed a PowerPoint. You missed,
Yes.
you
We had a
missed,
Hickman graphic right here in the middle.
So yeah,
I love
this is
it.
a big old thing.
I'm just a very good lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should be on when Triple D Dodgeball does his show. He brings a real lawyer-esque tone. It's on like,
Oh,
wow,
anyone. Let's go.
So
You
this
can
is
even
definitely
choose
fun.
who.
Yeah, I think in the case of like if the arena were Earth, I think Kang has a lot of benefits in that scenario, but I think in the end it becomes a loyalty issue. And I think Doom, as much as people fear him and worry about him, would side with him knowing that he has the best interests of his own country at heart and would be there to protect Earth from the dominion of or the dictatorship of Kang and his many variants. So in that scenario, I think in the end, what might start as Kang quickly starting to dominate Earth would quickly turn into people realizing we need Doom, and Doom would be smart enough to reach out to countries like Wakanda and to people like Reed. And I think in the end, it would create a coalition of the most powerful people on Earth.
Okay. And if we are going to draw that parallel, how many Doombots can Dr. Doom manufacture in his Earth alone compared to how many Kangs can Kang bring in across every single reality?
That is a phenomenal question.
Very good
I would
point.
love to hear the chat feeling in such a scenario if we're just going on numbers.
Because you also you also have to imagine villains will not be loyal. They will see who is more powerful.
Oh, you're selling my argument
Dr.
here.
Doom is. I don't care if
No,
Dr.
you're selling my argument here.
I'm not selling you because again, you can have Magneto. Even if you have Magneto, fuck it. Have Magneto. He's old anyway.
I will absolutely have Magneto because Magneto is right.
Take him. But if you have, let's say, even Thanos, Mephisto, Annihilus, any of them, Annihilus would definitely join Kang from the negatives. And that is huge.
But let's go to what you were saying a second ago. You were saying like all of your variants. If we were doing this as an arena fight, Doom, Kang, and Kang is bringing all of his variants, and Doom is bringing all of his Doombots. Who brings more soldiers to the field of battle? That's what I want the audience to say who they think brings more soldiers to the field of battle. And while they're voting, while they're saying this, what I want to say is this: the Doombots would be of singular mind and a singular strategy. But the Kang variants would be fighting amongst themselves.
I got three words for you. I got 3 words for you guys. Multiverse, and then for Doom, limited resources. So I'd argue that Kang has a bigger army.
Exactly.
Right. I think that's a fair statement, but I'm curious what the chat thinks about it. And then, but for me, the more variants he brings, the more fragile I think his strength will become, because they'll start fighting amongst themselves.
Yeah. I mean, also the Maker would probably join Kang's side, because if you think about it like this, if you're thinking about a matter
I agree with Fantastic Girl in this comment.
Any smart, so Kang's whole mission is to defeat his greater self, which is ultimately the demise of everything, right? It is the worst thing you could ever imagine. Somebody like the Maker, who is arguably the second, who is arguably one of the biggest villains of all time. Let's read the comics. Let's go back and read what's actually in the contents of the pages of what we're reading, right? Not just the cool little Kang covers or Dr. Doom covers earlier, but I think the Maker would side with Kang because he understands the overall mission, right? And that is to annihilate them. So other villains are going to see, okay, you have an infinite army across the multiverse. I would be stupid not to join him. Not, hey, let me play the hero because it's good of me.
Namor I love this comment.
In Secret Wars, Namor betrayed Earth to go elsewhere.
Fable. They'll team up just long enough to beat Doom, and then they'll fight amongst each other.
It's a wrap.
I think was it who said it earlier?
I don't know.
Sorry. There's so many great comments in this chat. This chat is amazing.
I know this is a great show. I love it.
Well, it's this show and this chat. I think it all comes down to big reason why is these two, not only contestants, but these two competitors, Kang and Doom.
Great characters.
It's like it brings the people in. I knew the second the Will set this matchup, I'm going, this is gonna be a popular episode.
Oh, and the
So-
fact that it's me, it's the fact that it's John too, and it's like
I was so happy that it was Brandon.
I know, right? I'm like, I couldn't have asked, but I'm like, let's just
Yeah.
let's again, the keys, they can do whatever they want, but when we read the actual contents of what we're looking at, we can read Avengers Forever. It's the little moments, right? The little gestures that Kang says that are just so like you already know what's coming. He already knows that he's going to win. He already knows how it's going to play out. He already knows what he needs to win.
Ooh, that's
It's
a
so
great point.
subtle, but it's so powerful. Let's
If-
forget about the keys. What happens in the books?
If Kang is able to know the future and he knows he's going to lose, would he even show up?
Yeah, but
Right?
he don't
If
go in there
he'd
with
be
the
able to know if he was going to be defeated and wouldn't show up. Although this defeats the whole concept of comics where we've seen Kang get defeated many times.
yeah, but it's like a longer game. He knows I'm gonna take an L here and take a W somewhere else. Like
Right.
you know, Kang never loses. Kang has never lost, or else he wouldn't even be in the picture right now. Because
And this is a great point, Biggie, because oftentimes, like even in that classic X-Men issue where Doom is holding
Exactly.
Storm and he's drugged her and knocked her out, like we only learned later on that it was a Doom bot. Like he lost, but it was just a bot, right?
Oh,
You taking pictures of me?
no, I actually was like responding.
Ask
to
before you take pictures of me.
I did not ask. If I wanted your opinion, I'd give it to you.
Villains are typically villains due to their methods. A lot of the motivations are the same as the heroes. That's a great way to look at it, Carrie. That's why I like characters like Emma Frost and Magneto. I think that they're so interesting because they have so many layers, right?
Yeah. All right. We got 5 minutes left, guys, for the voting for the poll. So we can argue afterwards, but everyone in the chat voting, you have 5 minutes to get your vote in.
Or I can always go back in time and make sure that I win and I win and I win and again.
Retroactively, all the variants come in and vote.
I mean, you know what?
I'm just stuck at the same IP address because all those Doom bots have the same IP address.
You think Doom would have bought his? You think Doom would have had them each a solo thing? He just
right. He'd find his technopathia would have given him the ability.
didn't have the foresight on that one. Didn't have the
Right.
foresight on that one.
Right.
So,
But I mean, I like Doctor Doom a lot better. Like I would be stupid to say that Doctor Doom isn't a cooler character, but like Kang is just when it comes down
he's
to
a more
power,
interesting character. But yeah,
it's not who do I like better. It's who do I really think is more powerful. You know.
I think you both think you're right.
And I think that
does that fence hurt that you're sitting on? So go on, Brandon. Sorry, we didn't mean to interrupt you.
I mean, I'm Kang. I knew you were gonna interrupt me. And
I love it. I've missed you, Brandon. I missed you a ton, brother.
I miss you a ton too.
Yeah.
But you know, I think Kang is also so far like complex of a character. We haven't even seen his full potential in the comics yet. There's also that point. Doom is very like he's always present. He's the biggest version. He's the biggest villain of FF. Kang is the biggest villain across multiple realities. So it's like, again, he knows what he's getting into every single time. That's why he's there. He's never there without a purpose, and he has the biggest army that you could possibly imagine.
I think that's a great point. That I think even in the comics, as for as long as we've had Kang, his potential I think is still not fully tapped. But you look at Doom, and obviously he's been the centerpiece of several Secret Wars events, much less like other events that he's been a part of. It's possible that we've seen everything we'll ever see from Doom, but that we haven't seen everything in the comics that we could see from Kang. That's an interesting comment.
Yeah, she's definitely the smartest. And if you haven't watched it on Disney Plus,
I do like her a lot, but I've never considered her the smartest in the MCU. But that is interesting.
No, definitely. Moon Girl is actually like very, very smart.
Absolutely,
like, smarter than Riri smart. Like it's kind of ridiculous.
Where would you put her? So if we're saying, I know the chat had said, I think Biggie said, read Doom. Does Lunella break top 2, or is she 3, 4, 5 somewhere?
I think she's. I think that again, her life experience. If we're just talking about life experience alone,
Well, yeah, I mean,
Doom
obviously
and Reed are in their own
she's
category.
younger, so wisdom-wise, right, she would be at a deficit.
And I think when we were looking at Robin's, why do we say Damien is below like Tim and Dig? It's just because he's not an adult yet. Like, once she becomes an adult, we can like put her higher, but she's not gonna be.
So we need like
she's not in my top 5. She's not in my top 5 until she actually like lives and struggles.
So we need old Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, like the old lady Doom.
I need Prime. I need Prime. Not old. I need Prime.
We need to see like Wastelands version of Devil Dinosaur.
Also, she needs to be 18 above, so they can actually like do something catastrophic.
I would be pumped on a Wastelands version.
Like if she's like 14 or 13, you can't like chop her arm off or nothing, or like make her struggle.
Comics and stuff. Hey, come on now.
Xander, pick a channel.
Reed Richards uses constantly says that Doom is on his level intellectually, and that his mystical art skills are on the level of Doctor Strange. So to say that he only uses the internet, I don't know about this. I don't even know that Kang rates in the top 5 smartest characters in the MCU.
Brother, are we measuring intelligence, or are we measuring like who's actually going to win? Because
intelligence, again, just intelligence.
If it's just intelligence, I'm going to keep it a buck. Kang is probably top 7. He's a Richard,
but not top 5.
He has the knowledge across, right? And because of that, that puts him a little bit of an edge with Reed. But we've also seen evil Reed Richards, which I think is the most powerful. I think that's the smartest person I think that's the smartest human in Marvel.
Biggie makes the point that he would put 1 and 2 a full country mile ahead of anybody else who even decided to put in 3 and 4. Like if you decided Lunella was number 3, she's still a mile from 1 and 2.
And part of the reason why Doom and Reed are so great at what they do and they survive everything, right? And they still remain on top is because they're smart. You don't do that without being smart,
right?
You know. But Kang also.
Don't worry, brother. We're just joshing, man. We're just having a good time.
In a multiversal level, Kang is also intelligent in his own right to be able to escape time.
That's the question.
That's
is it the difference between intelligence and straight knowledge, right? Like because he's able to connect to many multiverses and futures and pasts, he just is it's awareness, right? But is it intelligence?
Well,
right?
he's
that's
like
the difference.
I mean, he's 20 times more street smart than Reed and Victor. So they're
you could say
Kang isn't suffered by the opinions of any second party to hinder or gain his intelligence, right?
I like the comment that Link makes. I would absolutely buy Old Moon Girl.
Like they did Old Man Quill. They can do Old Moon Girl. Like
give me Old Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. I want it.
Yeah, make like Rainbow Rowell write that again. Like that would be fantastic. And or like Gail Simone could do a good job. Kelly Thompson.
Brandon and I debate Robins all the time because we are big fans of Robin. So Carrie's got the comment about the best detective is Tim, the best fighter is Damien, the most compassionate is Grayson, the most resourceful is Jason, and then there's Carrie Kelly, just badass.
You forgot Stephanie, who was there for 3 months just to try to sleep with Tim, but okay.
Spoiler!
Oh my god! So
do we want to go to the voting link or to a closing? Do we want to do a closing statement to go to the voting link since the voting link is now closed? No one can vote, and then we can discuss afterwards.
Yeah.
Does this sound fair?
No, we cut Brandon off though. Sorry, he was going to say.
Sorry. Yeah,
I can close.
Do you want to go first on closing?
Why not?
Why not? Fuck it. So, guys, ladies and gentlemen of the that's from my cousin Vinny, by the way. Go on. But when you are talking about who would win, right? There's always so many things that go into it. Are we doing a big army? Are we not? Is it a straight up hand-to-hand fight? And in every single scenario, we have a man who has seen it all before. He wakes up every day to see his past, his present, his future, the end of time, the beginning of time, every single scenario across every single reality you can ever think of. And there are multiple of him that he can bring at any time. Right? When your goal is to defeat yourself, right? The most powerful version of yourself, that is strong. And that's the commitment that keeps Kang exactly the powerful person he is. And that is why he has survived time and time again. And that is why going against Doom is really nothing, because he knows this is not the main fight. So I'm going to win it, right? This is the main fight. No matter if he needs his whole army, he needs his whole army, right? Because he's been there before and he knows what it has to take to get to that future, to get to that end. he's seen it all before. He's just reliving it, guiding it. Kind of like what I said earlier about the evil watch here. That's my Siri going off for some weird reason. But I think.
Ooh, great point,
really,
Biggie Shack.
What do you say?
Biggie says it basically comes down to how many people love Brandon, because Doom definitely is OP for nostalgia's sake.
Yeah, but we're not talking about nostalgia. Yeah, if we're talking about if we're talking about who do I like better, Doom. I would never have picked Kang.
Look at the energy. I love it.
Kang. I'm gonna be straight up with you. If it was, who's your favorite? I'm never picking Kang. I really don't like Kang.
Brandon just went full Sonic the Hedgehog. He got one of those fast coins and just like zipped. All of a sudden, it's like boom. He just exploded.
Yeah, but honestly, like when you are talking about time and you can break free of that, there's nothing stop you from conquering anything. You've seen it all before.
Awesome. Well, John, what is Doom's closing statement?
I think to Brandon's point about time, my feeling and the reason why I picked Doom is if time were the like end all be all, if time were the ultimate power point that would lead Kang to success, why has he never defeated the Marvel Universe before now? He's always failed.
Not meant to.
He's always failed. So he's never succeeded. And in that way, sort of has proven to us that as cool as his abilities are, they don't amount to enough to achieve success. On the other hand, there's plenty of stories where we see futures where Doom has been successful. Plenty of stories where we see villains, monsters, baddies, and heroes afraid to even deal with Latveria. They would rather conquer other portions of Earth and deal with other characters than have to offend Doom in any way. And that's why Doom is recognized as being the boss.
John, you make a lot of great points, but you're just wrong.
Doom has lost Latveria. This is true. That is
I
happened. And that
better,
did not come up. So shout out to Missing Link again, dropping facts.
Yeah,
that's my boy right there.
Shout out. Got it back. So I mean,
awesome. All right, so this was definitely one for the record book. So much energy and fun, and yeah, Brandon had a gold coin, and he went for it right there at the very last minute there. So all right,
just about it.
So the winner of Kang versus Doom is. Results that come in: Dr. Doom with 31 votes. Kang the Conqueror with 14.
The future version of myself. So John, you are irrelevant, and I have to prep for myself. I have another universe to have the same debate and then win.
Oh, so good.
Well,
yeah, I agree, Carrie. There's nothing better than nerd debates, right? Nothing better than nerd debates.
Yes.
This is the fun of the show, and I've always told Matt the best part about the show is it just takes those fun conversations from the comic shop, and we get to have a whole show about it.
Yeah. Well, congratulations.
Biggie Shack is booing me.
Boo! Yeah, thank you, Biggie. Yeah. See, Matt, you got to listen to your voters, bro. They want me in the next round.
I love it.
Like they're petitioning. They're petitioning. Look at them.
This was a tough first round matchup. I do agree. Two top tier villains in round one facing off.
I remember one of my favorite matchups in season 3 was the very first round. And the very first round was Superman versus Darth Vader. Ooh. I was like, no.
Yeah.
Superman had yet to win, or we had to do good. And there he finally won in an exhibition battle royale, and then Darth Vader, I really wanted to see Darth Vader move on too. So when they got paired together, it was like, that's not fair.
So honestly, I would go with I'd go Superman. I love
Superman. I mean, the Force is pretty amazing, but
I love Superman. And Darth Vader is my favorite character of all time.
It is great to see Brandon back. I totally agree, Fable. Well said.
No, it's all you guys. That's all you guys.
And to answer Carrie's question of who's the best doctor, it's Dr. House, right? House, isn't that the best doctor? Is that what we're talking about?
I was
gonna say Dr. Dre.
It's Dre. Yeah, it's Dre. You're right. It's Dr. Dre. It's Dr. Dre.
I'd say the best doctor is the one who did my hernia repair. So
yeah, let's check that box. That's a good one. Yeah, we'll put. Oh, you're talking about Doctor Who.
I'm talking about Dr. Africa. It's like
McCoy from the Star Trek Enterprise, right? Dr. McCoy.
Yeah.
Bones.
All right. Well, this was definitely a lot of fun. We definitely need to wrap things up here because I could talk forever too, but my wife would eventually want me to join the rest of the house and all that. But as far as Kang goes, or Brandon, you are more than welcome to come back on an exhibition matchup sometime here with 2 different villains. You know, if you have a friend and you guys want to argue, I don't know, Kang versus, you know,
Joker?
Mr. Freeze, Joker, Mr. Freeze. What, hun? I didn't say nothing. I gotta get out of here before I'm murdered on live internet.
I guess you didn't say anything. Remember, you didn't say
Unplug it.
anything. You just said it yourself on live internet. You didn't say anything. So you can just
Yeah.
keep going, my brother.
Yeah, well, I gotta get back out there because she wants me to paint her toenails or something like that.
That
So
sounds like fun.
I think you want to paint her toenails. You can
On
see
my
it.
way.
Yeah.
What does Mrs. Comics think? Who would she vote for? I don't. Well, Doctor Doom versus Kang the Conqueror.
Kang.
She said Doom.
No, she didn't. I heard her.
It's my girl.
I heard her in 2 realities.
I heard it in 2 realities. That's the
But
best line of the night.
Yeah, but she just said she also has no idea who either one really is. So it's like.
Ben, I knew that in 5 realities.
She picked. She knows. She's
Awesome.
got it.
Well, stay tuned, everyone, for the next episode of the Knockout. It's good to be the Good to Be Bad episode. Next matchup will be Mephisto versus Apocalypse. So
I have to say, Apocalypse.
Yeah, well, I definitely look forward to it since, frankly, this is the reason why I don't vote, because this would be one time where I'm going to find it very hard not to be prejudiced against Mephisto, because that SOB ruined my favorite couple.
He does ruin a lot of
I
things.
thought you were gonna say that SOB broke my wallet, from a specking thing. I was gonna shame. No offense, but
no, Mephisto ruined.
I had to get Biggie the same talk,
But Doom wins episode 3. He will move forward to the next round where he will face off against either Mephisto or Apocalypse.
I get Mephisto or Apocalypse. So
by the way, I just wanted to present this. This is what I won in the other reality from Knockout. I won this in 2 realities ago in Knockout. So again, John, have your flowers, but I already won in 3 realities.
I didn't win crap. I'll hold on to this instead. This will be my consolation prize.
Actually, I thought that was going to be my A-OK.
John, did I forget to mention that I'm now charging contestants to be on the show? It'll cost you one Kang first appearance.
And I already knew that and paid my dues up front.
Yes.
I knew that. I paid him in 5 realities.
Yes. So I will gladly take that first appearance, Kang. Thank you.
All right, dang it. I didn't understand.
Awesome. Well, see you guys. Yeah. All right. See you guys next time for the next episode of the Knockout. This has definitely been a fun season, and I cannot wait. Thank you everyone for voted, and I'll see you guys next time on the Knockout. Have a good night, everyone.